Honesty is something many of us say we value. Honesty about death, however, our own, that's often when honesty wanes. Unless, of course, death confronts us face to face. Then there is little to do but look it in the eye and say all you need to say before its final embrace takes the breath from you. This is the premise of a new documentary, My Wonderful Life, currently airing on Sky. A documentary team follow people who have been diagnosed with a terminal illness. They introduce us to the family and friends, plot the lives afar, and gather insight into how they are feeling now as they look at the world around them through this new, limited time frame. I'm still the person that I was, Lee Hall says into camera in a forthcoming episode. Ex-Army, his tone is matter-of-fact, yet there's a joviality within his eyes and a warmth behind the words that speaks of his belief that he has everything to live for now. At the end of the day, even though I'm dying, I'm still Lee Hall. The only trouble is, now we've got an idea of when I'm going to die. Lee Hall and his wife Heather, seen in the Sky documentary, My Wonderful Life, photo, British Sky Broadcasting Limited. In 2014 Lee was diagnosed with terminal skin cancer. He was 43. The documentary was shot between then and his death in October 2016. In that space of time, he talks passionately about Heather, his wife of 9 years, about how she changed his life, and how he wishes he had met her sooner. He banters with his 3 best friends, smiles through tears as he admits his deep regret at not having children, and marvels at how lucky he has been to move into a fully formed family. Heather had children when they met, who now have children of their own. Lee was, by Heather's admission, like a father to them, and now that they have children of their own, he's Gaga, the adopted grandfather much adored. The feeling is mutual. Apart from Heather, they're the most important things in my life, Lee says. Words can't describe it, so full of joy, every single time I see them, I beam. There is a twist, however. The documentary makers ask Lee to record messages on video for his closest family and friends, only to be revealed after his death. Alongside this, he was to plan surprises for each of them, not to be written about here, in fear of a spoiler alert, and we as viewers watch the reactions, as Lee speaks to them on screen. To state it's a blandly may give avenue for the idea that this construct for television, reality TV plus tragedy, pulls in viewers by the heartstrings. But the results make this cynicism unwarranted. I really feel privileged to have this, Heather says, of the footage. She is speaking over the phone from South Shields, where she still lives. Watching the videos absolutely killed us. She pauses to find the words, thinking about watching her late husband speak to her a year after he had died. Yes, I was broken-hearted. But listening to him talking to us was amazing. I loved it. It was very emotional, very hard, but it was amazing. Lee Hall, seen in Sky documentary, My Wonderful Life, photo, British Sky Broadcasting Limited. Heather says that initially she was more reticent to be involved in the documentary than Lee, who was immediately keen. No second thoughts, but did it for him. I thought it might be upsetting, she says, but wasn't about me, it was about Lee. She admits that after the initial diagnosis, a horrible, dark time, her inclination was just to cry. But in fact having a team of people with a camera asking questions turned out to be more life-affirming than she could predict. For both me and Lee, talking about our feelings was helpful. Lee was upfront anyway, he always spoke his mind, but doing this was his way of getting his point across. Just because he was diagnosed with a terminal illness did not mean it was the end of his life. The documentary certainly carries out his wishes. Lee Hall, seen in Sky documentary, My Wonderful Life, photo, British Sky Broadcasting Limited. Now, just over a year since the man she called her soulmate died, Heather is doing what she can to get through the grief. Lee was a man's man, but he was also a romantic and a softie. Heather says, he did romantic things for me, little things that meant a lot. The absence is strong. Her children are a great comfort, although their upset at the loss of Gaga is hard to see too. She takes sustenance from the video message he left her. When I got my message I was so overwhelmed to hear him talking to me again, I wanted to listen to it again and again. It's a special thing, and what of the surprise he had arranged for her to experience after his death. When his surprise for me was revealed, I nearly fell to my knees, she says, voice breaking. Enjoy every single minute. We take life for granted until something like this happens. Enjoy the little things, enjoy each other. I don't worry about things now, all those worries can be sorted out. Another message Lee left was for the team at Cancer Connections, a charity he formed a close relationship with after his diagnosis. Deborah Roberts, the manager, is also one of the co-founders who set up the charity 10 years ago. Lee was never going to be a victim of anything, she says. It took him a few weeks to get his head around it, but once he did, he was focused. Let me see what I can do with the time I've got. That was his attitude. Lee Hall, seen in Sky documentary My Wonderful Life. Photo, British Sky Broadcasting Limited. In contrast to many people Roberts has worked with, Lee had no interest in pretending that his foreshortened lifespan wasn't happening. He came into the charity 2 or 3 times a week for a cup of tea, to bombard Deborah with fundraising ideas just for a quick chat, and brought whomever he happened to be with that day, her children, friends, anyone. He became a prolific campaigner for funds, something his family have taken on as part of his legacy, and was close to jumping out of an aeroplane for sponsorship when a doctor stopped him at the last minute. When he became too ill to leave the house, Deborah went to see him. He was still quite positive, and that was 2 weeks before he died, she says. Lee left a message for the team, and Deborah got a little taste again of what it felt like when his big personality would fill the room. There were tears, but laughter too. When Lee passed away, it was devastating for everyone, she says. We miss the noise he used to make. He was a loud, bombastic person. He created a lot of noise. But, she iterates, it is thanks to Lee's honesty that they all have the freedom now to smile at the good memories, and laugh at his prankster-style humor, which, she says, was a little milder on camera than in real life. Both they and he had said everything they needed to before he died. Facing death is as important as birth, bringing life into the world, and seeing it out, she says. The concept of leaving messages for loved ones is important, but saying what you want to say when people are alive is also a crux. It means family members don't live with regrets, she says. None of us have any guarantees in life. We could go to work and drop dead. Things shouldn't go unsaid on a daily basis, never mind at the very end. She is full of praise for the documentary and the crew, and how Lee's inspiring, big personality is portrayed in the edit. And then she underlines what she has found through experience, and what Lee Hall so expansively demonstrated: don't wait to say what you need to say and do. Don't hold back. Nobody is promised tomorrow. My Wonderful Life concludes on Thursday the 8th of March on Sky One.